Maybe you have tried to make changes in your life without success, or you have successfully made some changes but cannot emulate the same success in other parts of life. Maybe you have read online or in books to make changes. You need goals or develop good habits like tiny habits, atomic habits, and keystone habits. These strategies do work, but this is a very generic playbook of behavior change. We need to customize our behavior change strategy depending on the situation. In tennis, there's a generic playbook that works reasonably well. Hit hard serves, run your opponent side to side, get to the net whenever you can. It's not a bad strategy. But if you're a really good tactician, you'll take advantage of the fact that specific opponents have specific weaknesses. In her book, How to Change, Professor Katy Milkman makes the argument that behavior change is similar. You can use an all-purpose strategy that works well on average. But you'll get further faster if you customize your strategy, isolate the weakness preventing progress, and then pounce. Of course, when it comes to changing your behavior, your opponent isn't facing you across the net. Your opponent is inside your head. An ideal time to consider pursuing change is after a fresh start. New beginnings can lead us to pause, reflect, and think about the bigger picture, which makes us more likely to consider trying to make a change. Fresh starts increase your motivation to change because they give you either a real clean slate or the impression of one. They relegate your failures more cleanly to the past, and they boost your optimism about the future. They can also disrupt bad habits and lead you to think bigger picture about your life. When researchers surveyed 200 people seeking meaningful change found that 36% of successful attempts took place when people move homes. Fresh starts can be calendar dates that mark new beginnings, a new year, season, month, or week, birthdays, or anniversaries. They can also be triggered by meaningful life events, such as a health scare or a move to a new town. Although fresh starts can jolt you into positive change, they can also interrupt you when you're on a roll, reversing your progress, so beware. A particularly effective time to encourage other people, employees, friends, or family members, to pursue positive change is after fresh starts. Present bias, also known as impulsivity, is the tendency to favor instantly gratifying temptations over larger long-term rewards, is a pernicious obstacle to change. When goal pursuit is made instantly gratifying by adding an element of fun, present bias can be overcome. One of the ways to overcome impulsivity or present bias is temptation bundling. In a study, participants were urged to exercise and then divided into two groups. One group was provided with iPods containing engaging novels like The Hunger Games or The Da Vinci Code, which they could only listen to while working out. The other group received gift certificates at the start of the study. Several weeks after the study, the researchers discovered that those who listened to the novels while working out exercised 55% more compared to the control group who received gift certificates. If you have a tendency to binge-watch Netflix or YouTube forsaking your goals, then temptation bundling can be your friend. Temptation bundling entails allowing yourself to engage in a guilty pleasure, such as binge-watching TV, only when pursuing a virtuous or valuable activity that you tend to dread, such as exercise. Temptation bundling solves two problems at once. It can help reduce overindulgence in temptations and increase time spent on activities that serve your long-term goals. We usually tend to procrastinate on tasks that serve our long-term goals. The tasks that serve long-term goals are generally difficult. An effective solution to this problem is to create constraints, commitment devices, that disrupt this cycle. Whenever you do something that reduces your own freedoms in the service of a greater goal, you're using a commitment device. At MIT, in a 14-week class, Professor Dan Ariely asked half of his 99 students to pick self-imposed deadlines for 3 assignments. Students had the option to pick the last day of the class to submit all 3 assignments. However, if the students pick the self-imposed earlier deadlines, they will be penalized if they miss the deadlines. Interestingly, 68% of his students picked self-imposed deadlines. This logic goes against the economic rationale. Students picked self-imposed deadlines to overcome procrastination. In a subsequent study, Professor Dan Ariely found that students who picked self-imposed deadlines had about 50% fewer errors than the students who were randomly assigned to face a single deadline. Commitment devices can be hard, like cash commitment devices, or soft commitment devices like pledges. An example of a cash commitment device is where you donate money to a charity that you do not want to support, or lose all your money if you fail to reach your goal. They allow you to create a financial incentive to meet your goal by letting you put money on the line that you'll forfeit if you don't succeed. Public pledges are a form of soft commitment that increase the psychological cost of failing to meet your goals. They are surprisingly effective, though not as effective as hard commitments, which involve more tangible penalties or restrictions. Sometimes we flake out and fail to follow through on our intentions. Flake out has many causes, including laziness, distraction, and forgetting. Forgetting may be the easiest of these obstacles to overcome. Timely reminders, such as those used by doctors' offices, can help overcome forgetfulness and increase attendance. Another way to overcome forgetfulness is a checklist. Having a checklist of all the tasks for the day significantly boosts your performance. A less-known tactic is forming a cue-based plan to combat forgetfulness. These plans link a plan of action with a cue and take the form of "when this happens, I'll do that." Cues can be anything that triggers your memory, from a specific time or location to an object you expect to encounter. An example of a cue-based plan is, whenever I get a raise, I'll increase my monthly retirement savings contribution. After I brush my teeth, I'll meditate for at least 60 seconds. The more distinctive the cue, the more likely it is to trigger recall. In one study, authors asked 100 students to identify a goal that they hoped to achieve during the Christmas break. The students who approached their goal in a typical way had a 22% success rate. However, students who used a cue-based plan had a whopping 62% success rate. If you form too many cue-based plans at once, you may be discouraged and your commitment may dwindle. So be choosy about which goals you'll plan for at any given time. When plans get too complex to remember easily, rely on checklists. Laziness, or the tendency to follow the path of least resistance, can stand in the way of change. Default is the outcome you'll get if you don't actively choose another option, such as the standard factory settings that come with a new computer. If you select defaults wisely, say, you stock your pantry with healthy snacks rather than junk food, you can turn laziness into an asset that facilitates change, say, eating healthy. Habits are like default settings for our behavior. They put good and bad behavior on autopilot. The more you repeat an action in familiar circumstances and receive some reward, be it praise, relief, pleasure, or cold hard cash, the more habitual and automatic your reactions become in those situations. Unfortunately, the habit system of cue craving reward only works in a world that is very predictable. Let's say you want to exercise every day. Relying on the cue craving reward model of habit formation might not be the most effective strategy. Research conducted among Google employees revealed that individuals who did not schedule a specific time of day for exercise tended to exercise more than those who did. The study found that if you allocate a particular time for exercise and are unable to adhere to it, you're less likely to exercise later on, even if you have the time. Too much rigidity is the enemy of a good habit. By allowing for flexibility in your routines, your autopilot can become flexible, too. You will find you respond consistently even under unideal circumstances. Overall, you'll build stickier, more lasting habits. Piggybacking new habits on old ones can help with habit formation. Link whatever you hope to start doing regularly, such as flossing or meditating, with something you already do habitually, such as brushing or drinking a morning cup of coffee. self-doubt can keep you from making progress on your goals or prevent you from setting goals in the first place. It's important to keep in mind that we're all fallible and may stumble from time to time. No one is perfect, and that includes both you and me. Your expectations shape your reality. So, believe in yourself and convey to people around you that you believe in their potential, and surround yourself with mentors who send those same positive signals to you. When you set ambitious goals, say, exercising every day, but allow yourself a limited number of emergency passes when you slip up, say, 2 per week. That strategy can help you stay confident and on track even when you face the occasional, inevitable setback. According to research, dieters who miss their calorie goal by even just a few calories are more likely to engage in sabotaging behaviors such as overeating. This phenomenon is known as the what the hell effect, where a minor setback can lead to a downward spiral in behavior. Therefore, it's crucial to practice self-compassion and avoid allowing small but inevitable failures to snowball into unhealthy habits in order to achieve sustainable long-term goals. Adopting a growth mindset, recognizing that abilities, including intelligence, are not fixed and that effort influences a person's potential, can help you bounce back from setbacks. Focus on personal experiences that make you feel successful or proud. This kind of self-affirmation makes you more resilient and helps you quash self-doubt. Our decisions are heavily influenced by the norms in our peer group, so it's important to be in good company when you hope to achieve big goals, and it can be harmful to have peers who are low achievers. In a fascinating experiment by Professor Katy Milkman, described in her book, she emailed all but 3 students in her class to applaud enthusiastically when she displayed the photo of the dean. Surprisingly, even the students who were excluded from the email joined in the applause because they did not want to be the odd ones out in the class. The closer you are to someone, and the more their situation resembles your own, the more likely you are to be influenced by their behavior. Achieving transformative behavior change is more like treating a chronic disease than curing a rash. You can't just slap a little ointment on it and expect it to clear up forever. Behavior change often has enduring positive benefits. The key to change is understanding your opponent. One-size-fits-all strategies won't get you nearly as far as tailored attacks on what stands in your way. Once you've mastered that game plan, staying the course is often as simple as sticking to the tactics that have been working for you. Here are 5 action steps you can take to put these ideas immediately to work. 1. Use the idea of a fresh start to kickstart a new behavior or old behavior that you have stopped for a while. 2. Can you overcome impulsivity with temptation bundling or procrastination with commitment devices? 3. Overcome forgetfulness and laziness with if-then implementation intention and develop elastic habits. 4. Be wary of the what the hell effect that is sabotaging your progress. Adopting learning and a growth mindset helps. Remember, setbacks and failures are inevitable parts of the process. 5. Always customize your tactics to the challenges you are facing. This was the summary of how to change. Presented by Animated Insights. If you like the video, please like and hit subscribe. Thank you for watching and happy behavior changing.